Hello everybody and welcome to my 2020 gaming wrap-up video. The video series I like to do at the end/beginning of each year where I look back at my year of gaming and take a look at the trophies I earned, the platinums, the games that I played and go through my favourite 3 of the year, and then take a look at what's coming up next year, like what are the games I'm most anticipated for in 2021, and set myself some goals. I did that for the first time last year and I looked back at my goals. We're going to go through that in a bit. That's the running order of this video. It's just basically going to be me talking about video games. So if that sounds like your cup of tea, then grab a jammy dodger or another biscuit of your choice and sit back with a trophy to grind or whatever it is you choose to do for the next foreseeable future. Well, let's go through all the stats. So where to begin? I guess let's start with the stats. Oh, stats. I've got my little handy piece of paper here to guide me, which I wrote out last night. So if I'm looking down, it's because I'm being a professional and looking at my notes. So all the stats that I have gathered for this video come from PSN profiles and True Trophies. So if you want to see your stats, then make sure you check out those websites. Hashtag not sponsored, they're just websites I like to use. And a lot of people do ask me in the comments, like, where do you find this information? And you can be lost in those stats for days on end if you've never seen them before. And we've got some good stuff to look at here. So, I'm recording this on the 27th of December, which is also the same date that I recorded, well, actually got the stats from last year. So it's a whole year that I've done this, to the date, to the letter of the date. Right, so it's been a funny year, old year. No, we're not going to go into that. So I feel like a lot of people's stats are probably going to be quite high. Actually, before I get into this, I have received a lot of comments this year on one of my old videos where people, I can't remember which game it was. I'm thinking it's either Mass Effect or Persona 4, where I'm like, oh, if I got snowed in or stranded on a beach or couldn't play anything for like a whole year, then I'd definitely platinum this game. And everyone's like, oh, now that you're in coronavirus times, have you done it? No. I haven't done it. There's been too much to play. I've actually played a lot this year, and I assume a lot of people as well have played lots of video games, seeing as there was not much else to do as we had to sit at home. So let's get on with it. So this year, according to the stats, I earned 607 trophies across 30 games, which is up from last year, which is really cool actually, because I looked at my stats from last year. I had 507 last year, so I've got to the letter or the number 100 more, which is pretty cool. And then I would go through the level normally, because I think I started off the year as a level 28 and now I'm a 400 and something. I don't even know if I care about leveling anymore. Like, I wonder how much leveling I'm going to do next year. Like, if I'm I think I'm 423. So who knows? It's too early to tell how the numbers of the levels will shake out after a whole year. So, you know, we all just look like we had a really good year, everybody. We all doubled from, if you were level 12, you're now 250 billion. Good stuff. Well, let's all just give ourselves a pat on the back. We trophied. Now I have on my notes, look at graph. So this graph is the summary of my whole stats during 2020, which I think is quite interesting because January, I seem to have these spikes. January, April, August, and then December and November OVs. What was I doing in January? I can't remember. I must have been playing, I imagine this must be a Telltale game. Oh no, I was playing Life is Strange 2, so that's probably a boost there. April is obviously the beginning of lockdown. That's why I was like, woo, we just sit at home and play games. Then there's a bit of a lull. I don't know what was happening in August. I'm not sure. And then, of course, November and December is when the PlayStation 5 came out. So, lots of games to be had there. So it's a bit of an up and down year. And then, just because I thought this might be quite interesting, my first and last trophy of the year was. So my first trophy was Chooser of the Slain, which was from God of War, which was to kill the Valkyrie Queen, which I did on New Year's Day. I don't have any New Year's Day platinum plans this year yet. And then the last trophy, as of the 27th of December, was one of the few, which is from Demon's Souls PS5, which is to get some kind of sword spear thing. Is it called Isabella? I don't know. So yeah, there we go. That's a couple of stats. Oh, and then of course, let's go through the platinums. Now this year, I believe, I've not really looked into it too hardcorely, but I think it might be an all-time record. 15 platinums this year. Last year was only 8. Very slow. But then of course, I think I'm gonna pin this on the fact that we had to stay at home a lot, and the fact that I had a couple of, the Road to Platinum 100 helped, because I sort of had this goal that I would try and get a platinum every month so I could get that video out. So, and then at the end I just did a load, and then the PS5 has like really good games that have easy platinum, so I've just been knocking those out of the park. Okay, so let's go through my platinum haul for 2020. I'm going to try and whiz through some of these and not spend too much time waffling on, because I talked about them a lot in their separate videos, and then I'll spend more time talking about the ones at the end which I didn't document for the road to platinum number 100. Because I also just really want to talk about the games I played this year, because I played a lot. As you, well, 30, and I think out of those 30, 16 of them were new. Anyway, let's begin. So on New Year's Day, January 2020, a day full of hope before it all went I platinumed God of War. Great game. I would recommend everybody plays it. What I like about God of War is it's so good that I think it pushes people to get the platinum. It's not an easy platinum. You do have to put some work into it. You do have to put some grind into it. But I think the challenge is there, and it's enough to push you over to want to do it and want to get better and beat the Valkyrie Queen. I think that's probably the hardest bit, but definitely recommend. And then we got Resident Evil. That was on the 15th of February. Loved this game. This was what, so that's the other thing about this year. I also called it hashtag year of the backlog, because there wasn't a lot for me personally that was coming out at the beginning of the year that I wanted to play, so I thought I'd spend that time going back to the backlog, clearing up some trophies that I hadn't got yet, or just starting some new games that I'd never played but wanted to, and this was one of them. Great trophy list. How would I rate this? It was hard, but a good hard again. I love the challenge that pushes you, and there was a day that I'm pretty sure I played this game 3 times. By that I mean I started a game 3 times and just went, right, next playthrough. I felt a bit sick after that. Did go a little bit hardcore. Then after that was the Outer Worlds platinum, which was on the 2nd of May. Really? Wow. I thought I got a platinum every year. I mean, every month, but clearly not. That's quite the break I took there. What can I say about this game that I didn't say already? Well, apart from the fact that I really, really, really enjoyed this game, which made me want to get the platinum. It's like a nice little mini bite-sized RPG, and the platinum is pretty doable. Like, I did do 2 playthroughs, but it didn't feel like an arduous task at all. Like, if you say to someone you're gonna have to do 2 playthroughs in an RPG, they might actually just run away. Like The Witcher. Doing another playthrough, that was a very daunting task. This, definitely not. So if you've not played the Outer Worlds, I can't recommend it any higher than that. And the platinum does take a little bit of planning and sorting out, because there's a few messable things, but again, definitely doable. So then after that, we got Overcooked 2 on May the 24th. I got 2 in May. This, I loved playing Overcooked. I always tell people to play Overcooked. I recently got my family to play it. And this was a good game to play over lockdown, definitely. Like me, Bethany and Chris would get together and we'd play it. And also, it's a platinum. It's so easy. You just might as well get it. What was after that? Master of Mordor. Oh, this was the Shadow of Mordor. 25th of July. Now, this was a game that was always on my backlog. Like, everyone was like, oh, I think you should play this game. You'd really like it. Now, me, having watched nothing about Lord of the Rings, was kind of like, I do want to play it for the game, but I didn't really care about the story. And that was pretty much how it panned out for me. I enjoyed playing it, having a fuzzy duck what happened with all the rings and the guy and the golem and the, Caragors. Look, it's a Caragor! But I thoroughly enjoyed my time. Will I play the next one? I'm not sure. And again, very easy platinum. If you're playing it, you might as well just get it. It'd be rude not to. And then of course, now this is my favourite platinum of the entire year, I think. 22nd of August, baby, I got the Red Dead Redemption 2 platinum, Legend of the West. Woof, that was a mission and a half. I would play that game on and off probably throughout most of this year, just with the goal that I was going to get this platinum. And I wanted it to make it number 99 as well, so it did take a long time of just like, well, if I want to get number 99, but I also need to put the groundwork in before I get there. It was just mainly, like, I can't recommend getting this. It does feel like a great achievement when you do get it, because you're just like, oh, because you really have to give it you got to get everything to get this trophy. A lot of wasted time. My favourite was I spent the lunchtime just petting dogs. That was a good day. What a good day. But, yeah, I don't know if I could get, it'd been a while since I'd got a rare platinum. How rare is this platinum? 2.22% rare. Now, I'm not going to say it's because it's hard, because it's definitely not. It's just it's very long and it's very, very time consuming. I think when I looked on the PlayStation, I spent about 300 hours playing this game over the course of, 2 years or so. And gosh, if I could break that down into how many was just spent doing some of the grind stuff, like the skinning the animals and the finding the animals, that was definitely the worst bit. Everything else was, and the online. The online, the grinding of the animals, definitely pants. But I did it. I always like to put that extra effort into the games that I truly love, and I truly, truly, truly love this game, so that's why I put myself through the torture. Then it was number 100 on the 19th of September. I finally made it. Platinum 100, Uncharted 4. Hang on, I just want to have a quick look at something. I want to know how long it took me. If it's one of the longest platinums. 4 years and 4 months. I quite like that. It's quite round, that is. Oh, I've clicked on the wrong thing now. Well, that was a fun turn of events. I ran out of memory space on my camera. And there was me thinking I'd run out of daylight first, because it's rapidly dying on me. I should have been less lazy this morning. Right, so we spoke about Uncharted. Then we got Uncharted, The Lost Legacy, the lost episode of the Road to Platinum 100. It will be coming. Do not worry. I'm going to sort it out. But I actually think this is the best Uncharted Platinum list there is out there. When did I get that? The 3rd of October. So I took a bit of a break. Less than a month. Actually, I think I just waited to get it done. Oh my god, this was when I had the Platinum Surge Day. So I got this Platinum. Because I wanted to get that out of the way, because I wanted to make that 101, because to clear this up, everybody, there is a Platinum that I've got hidden on my profile. I want to delete it, so I always thought that when I do, if PlayStation ever lets us delete them, when that happens, then Uncharted The Lost Legacy can become my 100th Platinum, and that way I've not lost I really wanted 100 to be an Uncharted game. So there we go, that is why. So on that day, after I got that, I then did Persona 4 Dancing in Starlight, I did Concrete Genie, Life is Strange, all on the 3rd of October. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4. How many platinums have you got in one day? I just went a bit mad that day. I was like, oh, how many can I get? I mean, I was tempted to get Detroit, but Detroit was a bit of a longer haul. So what do I want to say about these games? Persona games? Persona 5, my favourite soundtrack, which is why I loved that game, and I did this on Vita. And then Concrete Genie, again, another lovely little game. But the Platinum was very easy as well, which is why I didn't feel like these were... Basically, these games were the ones that weren't worthy, these three. They weren't worthy of the Road to Platinum 100, because, again, Life is Strange 2, it's just collectibles. That was such a strange game, Life is Strange 2. I liked the ending a lot, but I don't know if I really liked the journey to get to the ending. Odd. But then Detroit Become Human, I got that on the 28th of October. That was a lot of fun. I really enjoyed replaying, because I hadn't played the game for ages. I wanted to come back to it and start a brand new file and do all the things I didn't do last time, like the evil playthrough, which was like, it was hard because I was like, oh man, because I hadn't played it in so long. I really wanted to just play it the way that I wanted to play it again, but I was like, no, I've got to do it for the trophy. And you know, as with all these Quantum Dream games, you've got to replay some of the chapters over and over again. But I honestly didn't care. I just really love the story and the characters and the music. So good. I always recommend this game to everyone. And then here we are, the start of the PS5 Platinums. Of course, my first ever PlayStation 5 Platinum was Astro's Playroom. You've only done everything. Good. What a trophy list. So that was on the 23rd of November. Also, the birthday of Doctor Who. Quite a lot of people have got that. I thought that was a very fitting first PlayStation 5 Platinum. I'm sure it's a lot of people's first PlayStation 5 Platinums, but it's got so much PlayStation love in it. It was the first game that I played on PS5 that felt next gen, and I had a blast playing it. I loved it. Very easy Platinum, but it's just so enjoyable to get.
A brand new Platinum until the next generation. Here we go. Oh, here we go, here we go, here we go again. Oh, that's really good. Oh, I did it! But I wasn't looking. I didn't think that one would work.
And then I got Bugsnax, and that was on the 20th of December. Oh, not many people have that one. Oh, that was also a very easy Platinum as well to get. You just have to... See, there was actually a trophy in there that is missable, but I didn't realise it until I got to the end and was like, oh my god, if I'd made some bad choices, things would have gone horribly wrong. Not that they didn't go horribly wrong already, but yeah, very standard, straightforward Platinum. Just play the game, do a bit of clean-up, do a bit of collecting, and there you go. You have this little cute-looking Platinum that might come and eat you. Or you might... No, if you eat it, you might become a Platinum. Ooh.
Oh, but I kind of want it to be, no, I want it to be pink. The white strawberry. There you go. Sorry, Gramble. Oh my god, I feel awful about that. Oh, is that it?
And then the final trophy that I just squeezed in at the end of the year was, of course, Spider-Man Miles Morales Be Yourself. Collect all trophies. And that was on the 24th of December. I was going to do that on my birthday, but then I decided, I got other things to do on my birthday. But yeah. That was also, what do I think about that list? Again, another good list for... See, all these games here, really great lists, other than Red Dead Redemption 2. That one was just a lot of, finish the game, do a couple of... Oh, I thought, actually, the one weird thing I thought about this trophy list was that they had you had to beat the game on New Game Plus. Now, normally, I would be like, what? You what, mate? But because the game was so short... it seemed like, okay, fair enough. They want you to, like, they know the trophy hunters are out there now. So they kind of, I guess it was like, well, this is to, you know, get people to play it again. And you can do it. You can do that New Game Plus playthrough in literally like 3 hours or something. So it wasn't too arduous, and I had a lot of fun getting that.
Come on, this is it now. Just a little further. Where am I? 96, come on. Just 2 more hits, nobody's... Yes, that should be it. I am hopefully a Spider-Man.
Okay, dramatic lighting change for the second half of this video. I should have got up earlier and filmed it sooner. It just gets too dark too quickly. Right, so now I want to get to the next point of this video, which is talk about the games that I played in 2020. So I mentioned at the top of the video, I played 30 games, which was not new games. I think out of those games, about 16 were new. Now, I do want to give a shout out because, as I said, I did play a lot of backlog games, but I want to keep pure to my favourite games of the year and keep them to ones that actually came out in 2020. So, out of the backlog ones, I'd like to shout out to the original Resident Evil, Cuphead, and Overcooked 2. I think those are the ones that I want to, you know, give a special thank you. Oh, and The Witcher 3 DLC, because I finally went through and completed that. Now, onto the new games. So these are the games that I actually played this year. I didn't play everything, but this is what I got. Resident Evil 3, The Last of Us Part 2, Ghost of Tsushima, Fall Guys, Crash Bandicoot 4, It's About Time, Astro's Playroom, Bugsnax, Demon's Souls, Spider-Man Miles Morales, and Cyberpunk 2077. So that is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10... 10. That's not too bad. 10 new games in 2020. Now, I would just like to make one glaring omission, which is Ghost of Tsushima. I literally only played like 2 hours of it, so I can't really comment on... I might really have liked it, but I just didn't really feel it or get around to it this year. So, definitely need to get back to that. So that's why that's probably not going to be in my top ones. Is there anything else this year? Like, I had no interest in like Final Fantasy or Assassin's Creed or Watchdog Legion. So I think I got the ones that I wanted to play down. As I said, the beginning of the year was very barren for me, and it was only until the PS5 came out that things picked up. So I would like to give some honourable mentions before I get to my favourite games of the year. Now, it's going to be a different favourite games kind of list. You might think they're kind of obscure and weird, but I looked at this list, and whilst the games I've picked may not be the best games this year, they were the games that made me the happiest, and I think that's what we all needed in 2020, is games that gave us happiness. So that's why my list is the list it is. I do realise that some of these games, there were better ones, but I just needed pure happiness. So my honourable mentions will go to, firstly, Spider-Man Miles Morales. I mean, who doesn't love swinging around the city? It's more that I just don't really care for the story in these Spider-Man games. Like, I just like the combat and the swinging around. But at the end, and I really like Miles and his family and his, like, friend dynamics and stuff. I just felt really happy at the end of the game. I was like, you know, at the end with that and he's walking around the street, and I was like, oh, I feel so happy. I hope that the next game, I don't really know what it is, but I would like to do, like, have Peter and Miles, and you play between the two. So sometimes Peter, sometimes Miles, or whatever. That would be a nice, now that we've introduced to him. Because I can't imagine going back to Peter now. He's, like, well boring. I'd have to play. Now, that's the other question. Do I play Spider-Man Remastered and get that real cheap plat? But I didn't actually play the DLC for the first Spider-Man game. So part of me is, like, tempted to do it just so I can play the DLC. But I don't like the idea of just sticking on the game and it just going bling, 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 bling. I don't know. I'll think about it. Maybe when the next one comes out, I'll want to replay the original one. Anyway, that's my shout out. Next shout out goes to Bugsnax, just because I really enjoyed the game. Well, I wouldn't put it as an honorable mention if I didn't, but I enjoyed it more than I was expecting to. Like, yeah, I was in all the hype of all the Bugsnax, but I remember at the beginning of the game, I was like, okay, there's maybe not that much depth to this game. It's just like catching stuff, and it's fun, and it's nice. But then I found the depth. There is depth, everybody. At first, it's very much surface level, like, hey, I'm Bilbo, blah, 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 come catch the Bugsnax. But then there's, like, other things going on, and, like, the characters. I found the characters super interesting. There was only 2 of them that I was kind of like, oh, yeah, you're boring. I'm skipping you. But all the rest, though, I was, like, very invested in their stories. There was like Chandler, bro. He was like my favorite. I liked having him lift weights and get to know and like help his dog Snorpy out. I liked that. And yeah, there was a lot of more deeper meanings, like adult themes and stuff. Well, not like that. They're not like shoving eggplants in their faces or peaches. That went somewhere. No, it was more just like, you know, people were struggling and you had to help them. And then it took a really dark twist at the end, so definitely play it if you haven't. But I really enjoyed it more than I was really expecting to. It was fun. It was a fun, uplifting game, but it wasn't dumb and kiddie. Like, the kids can get something out of it, but you can also get something out of it too. So those are my 2 honourable mentions. Okay, here we go. For my top 3 games of the year. At number 3, it is Demon's Souls. Now, I always bang on about how much I love the Souls games, and I always have a special place in my heart for Demon's Souls because it was the first Souls game I ever played. Now, yeah, it's not as good as the other ones, like, it's missing, like, fundamental bits that, you know, the games later on came to, you know, really polish. Like, obviously, eating grass whenever you want is a little bit cheesy when you had the Estus before and you could, like, really have to, like, pace out when you're going to use it. But I really like that they didn't change anything about the game. Like, I think I would have been more upset if they were like, oh yeah, we'll get rid of the grass and put Estus in. I'd be like, no, that's not the way Demon's Souls are supposed to be played. It looked amazing as well. I just remember walking around being like, oh my god, it's so cool. And the controller, I guess a lot of these games, because of their PS5 games, it's all my top... Actually, one of them is not a PS5 game. But all of the controller stuff was like... Argh! And even though there wasn't that much in Demon's Souls, I remember like getting on a lift and it's like... like a rusty lift. And I was like, oh my god, I could feel the rust! So that was all exciting. I've not actually beaten it yet, but I am very much looking forward to getting the platinum out of it. I do like that they changed the trophy list, because the trophy list of the first game was like really annoying. Like, who really wants to farm like that much for stones to upgrade your weapons? Rubbish. But this one, they put some other ones in, which will be fun to do on my next playthrough. So, Demon's Souls, very happy that it finally got the love it deserved. And I'm actually even happier that other people that never got to play it get to play it in this way, because it's so good. Can't wait to play it when I've done making this video. At number 2. Okay, this was hard. This was a really hard list to come up with, because... Oh, okay. At number 2, I'm going to pick Astro's Playroom. Again, it's because it just blew me away. I've always been a big Astrobot fan, but when I played this game, honestly, it sucked me back to being a kid at Christmas. I was sitting in front of the TV and I couldn't believe it. Like, I can't really remember that moment when you were a kid and you suddenly, you know, you're picking up a game and you're like, oh, wow. But you see other kids doing it, you know, when you're like, hey, you should try this. And they're like, oh, and they realise that what they're doing is changing on the screen. I was having that exact same thing, but it was more like what I was doing. It was feeling in my hands. Like, I can't get over the feeling. Like, I was like, I'm walking through grass. It feels like grass. I'm walking on metal. It feels like metal. I'm now skating on ice and it feels like ice. I was like literally getting everyone in my house like, feel it, feel it, feel it, feel it. Because, and then the noises that come out of it. But mainly it's the feeling. It's the haptic feedback, which I'm like, oh, it's so cool. Like the triggers and stuff. And it just, I honestly felt like I was playing a next-gen game. Like, that felt next-gen to me. It felt like something I'd never experienced. It was all the sensory feelings in my hands. And it was just fun as well. Like, I'm, you know, born and bred platform gamers. I love a bit oh, and it was just, I just remembered, because I was like thinking about platforming, and then it made me think about my past, my childhood, which reminded me how it was just soaked in PlayStation nostalgia. Like, this was like the game that was made, not just for me, but all the people in my generation. You know, we grew up with PlayStation, and it's like all those years of growing up being paid off in one game. Like, you're seeing Joel and Ellie, you're seeing like Chris and Rachel. Who's Rachel? Is she even in a video game? I meant to say Chris and Jill from Resident Evil. And you're just like walking through and you're seeing all the PlayStation stuff, and then when the consoles and the hardware comes up, you're like, I had one of those. Like, it's literally, it was like, This Is Your Life, the video game. Like, dun, 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 dun. This was your PlayStation life just laid out before you. It'd be weird, like, I'm sure other people, like kids, would probably play it and they'd be like, oh, this is really fun, but it had a deeper meaning to those of us who were there through the PlayStation time and grew up with it. There can't be another game like it for at least another 20 years, because it just won't be the same, because you'll be like, yeah, you did that last year. You've got to have more things and stuff. And as someone who loves PlayStation, I was so sad when I finished playing it as well, because I was like, I hope they make more. I hope they make more speedrun levels. I hope Astrobot needs his own game, alright? See, I don't look at me. I'm in this little shoe cupboard. I can't play VR. I'm stuck, you know, with the constraints of this. So I would really, 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 really love a full-blown Astrobot game. Please make it happen. And then my number 1, my favourite game of the whole year. Brace yourselves for it, people, because I feel a bit silly. But at the same time, like, it really was. Now I feel like I should put Astrobot as my favourite game of the year. But no, I'm gonna stand true to my guns and to my notes that I wrote last night. My favourite game of the year, everybody, was Fall Guys! Like, literally. Like, I know that sounds really dumb, but I played it, like, hardcorely for that first season. Like, I played it, like, really intently for those 2 months, and then haven't touched it since. But I do really want to get back into Season 3. Now, I think the main reason I'm putting Fall Guys as my favourite game of the entire year, because I think it's the game that I will look back on this year and think about playing it. I'll think about the PlayStation 5 a lot, but But I will think about that summer where we couldn't really go out, we couldn't do anything, and me and Bethany were just addicted. Like every night we'd be like, Fall Guys, and we would just play it for hours on end. And it was something to do, it brought us all together, and I really enjoyed this, like, you know, it was just dumb fun, and something I definitely wouldn't have played if Bethany hadn't been like, oh, you should give it a go and, like, you know, try it out. And I remember being a bit like, because, you know, I mainly don't really play games like that because I'm like, I've got to play my AAA games, damn it. But I'm glad that Bethany did coerce me to play it, and yeah, I literally just fell in love. I had so much fun times and just laughs, and just got really, like, I played it, no joke everybody, there was one day, and I'm not proud, but it's lockdown, so, you know, I played it from 3 o'clock p.m. to 9 o'clock p.m. How many hours is that? 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. That's like 6 hours. Maybe it was longer than that. I'm pretty sure my TV was like, hey, you should turn off for eco-friendly saving, like, at least twice. And at the end of it, I remember being like, oh. Like, I was like, I need to do something else. What can I do? I need to have a shower. And then the shower was like, I was like, oh my god, make it stop. You know when you play something too much and you're just in your sleep going, what's the other music that they had? I don't like the, what's that? Oh, what's it when it breaks down when you're playing Block Party? And it's that bit where I haven't heard the songs in so long, but I used to just really, oh, what is it? You know the bit I'm talking about. So you're doing the block party, and you're like, ooh, and then the blocks all come in, and then the music's like, oh, I can't remember. But you know, it's all good stuff. So I do want to check out season 3. But even if it is just my holiday, you know, my summer romance game, I will always remember when I was addicted to Fall Guys and I played it. On my PlayStation 5 stats when I looked, it was like 60 hours or maybe 50 or something. But that was over the space of only 2 months. So that was a lot of time that I did pour into that game. And it's just good, silly fun. I hope they haven't changed it too much. I feel like when I tried season 2, it was like trying a bit too hard. But, you know, I feel like that has to be my favourite game of the year. I don't play multiplayer games much anymore, but in a year where you needed, like, games to play with other people, that was my go-to, because it was just silly fun. It wasn't like, we need to kill these other people, oh my god, you scrub, blah blah blah. It was just good fun. Like, when you died, you were like, oh, straight back in. So that's what I liked it. There we go. So those are my favourite games of 2020. Argue amongst yourselves if you think that I'm rubbish. Okay, so now it's time to take a look towards the future, to 2021. What are the games that I'm most excited for? So I had a look, I did a little bit of the old Googling, and I think the first game, the main game that I'm excited for, is Hogwarts Legacy, just because I love the setting of Harry Potter. Like, I just want to go around Hogwarts. I don't know much about it. I think that's part as well. It's the mystery. What is the game? It could be rubbish. I'm very much accepting the fact that it could be a terrible game. But my favourite part of the Harry Potter games when I was playing them growing up, it wasn't, you know, just reliving the movies, you know, and being like, I don't know why he speaks like that. But my favourite was just running around Hogwarts. So even though I played Lego Harry Potter, that was my favourite part as well. It's just like doing the magic and like exploring, because it is a really cool world, and I just don't know what will the boundaries be on this world. Like, do you have to go to class? I want to go to class. Do you get to, like, you know, go to the Forbidden Forest and, you know, be a bit naughty? Like, I don't even know. I don't know much about it. I should probably look into it more. But I mean, I kind of like the fact that I don't know much about it. So I'm hoping it's good. It's the RPG maybe that I always wanted. Like, I can just pretend that I get to go. Do you get to go to Hogsmeade? Do you get to go? I don't know where you would go. But I'm all in. I'm all in for it. I'm very excited. Next on my list will be Mass Effect Remaster. I've always thought about those games because I played them quite late, and I was like, oh, I'd like to play them again, but, you know, pulling out your PS3, and, you know, Mass Effect 1's a bit clunky these days, and blah. So, having the remaster, I'm very much looking forward to hanging out with my space besties once again, getting to know Garrus again, and seeing it in, like, you know, obviously they're going to up-res it or something, and hopefully Mass Effect 1 will be a little bit more playable, and hopefully the trophies, maybe I'll actually be able to finally get that Mass Effect trophy in the remaster. I don't want the same trophies, to be honest. I want them to shake it up a bit. I did that before. I want new stuff. And then I've put here Cyberpunk Upgrade, because I'm looking forward to that, you know, because I want to play the game, but I haven't played much of it yet because I want it to be good. I don't want to get too invested in it and then have this sort of buggy experience. So I'm going to wait for that. And then finally on my list is going to be Ratchet & Clank Drift Apart. Now, I'm not a massive Ratchet & Clank fan by any stretch of the imagination, but because I'm just really now addicted to this PlayStation 5 next-gen feeling, I need to feel it in my fingertips, I need to feel it in my haptic feedback, and because this is, I double-checked, it is a PS5 game, it's not cross-gen, I can't wait to see the power of the PS5 and just play something that's meant to be for it. Like, what's it going to feel like? What's it going to look like? I'm just very excited to just play something that is meant to be next gen. And that's about it, really. I've put, like, Horizon Forbidden West ? Just because, you know, it's probably a good game. But I'm not... If I'm going for the ones that I'm most hyped about, I'm going to say Hogwarts Legacy, Mass Effect Remaster, and Ratchet & Clank Rift Apart. Now, it's time to look at my goals. Squad goals! Remember that from PlayStation Access? I don't know why I just had a flashback of that. So let's look at what goals did I have last year, I guess is the main question. So I set myself 5 goals, and let's see if I've completed them. I've already written it down so I know. Goal number 1 was to finish Dark Souls 3 and then play Sekiro. So I did half of that. I did finish Dark Souls 3. It was the last thing I did before I laid my PS4 to rest. It was like, you know, when you have to die and you need to put your affairs in order, much like in that game. I was like, you know what, before my PlayStation 4 dies, I need to put my affairs in order. What's overhanging? And it was the only thing that came to me was like, I need to finish Dark Souls 3. I still think about platinuming it. I'm definitely going to do another playthrough on the PS5. But whether I'm going to platinum or not, I just don't know. I just don't know if I want to do the Covenant stuff. It's just a bit meh. Also, I just want to play some other Dark Souls games. So that was a tick and a meh. Play Borderlands 3. I did indeed play Borderlands 3. I forgot to mention it in my PlayStation Collection video. I played it and I enjoyed it for what it was, but I haven't really felt the hankering to go back to it. And it kind of made me question why I even liked Borderlands 2 in the first place for some reason. Like, it was fun. I haven't even finished the main story. I don't even know if I really want to. Like, it was kind of just happening to me, you know? I was just sort of running around shooting things, but I feel like I needed to be engaged in it, and it wasn't really engaging my mind. So, yeah, it was alright. Number 3 was to complete the Uncharted 2 speedrun, which I did in February, a tick. Number 4, commit to playing games quicker and stop playing games that I don't like. I think I did this, actually. I think I have become better. Like, I did complete games in a quicker fashion, and then I did stop playing games that I didn't like, technically, sort of, maybe. I don't know, it's hard. And then number 5, which was the big one, was to reach 100 platinums, which I did on the 19th of September. So there we go. I think I did well. I didn't actually look at these throughout the entire year. It's quite interesting when I went back to watch the video and I was like, damn, did I actually do these goals? So what am I going to set myself for next year? What are my next year goals? Okay, number 1 goal is to play Ghost of Tsushima, because I feel bad that I've not played it and everyone says it's such a good game. And I feel like I will like it. I've just got to be in the mood for it. Like, when I did play those 2 hours, I did really enjoy it. But I just wasn't feeling it. I think I wanted a game to talk to me, you know? There's some games where you have to make the story happen, and there's other games where the story just happens to you. And I kind of wanted something that was going to, you know, take me on the journey rather than me making the journey. I couldn't be bothered to make the journey myself, if that makes any sense. So that was my first goal. Definitely going to do that at some point this year. Number 2 is to do a second playthrough and platinum The Last of Us Part 2. Now, yes, you may have realised that I didn't mention it in my favourite games of 2020. It's because it wasn't my favourite game of 2020. Do I think it's the best game of 2020? Yes, probably. I do think it's deserving of the awards. The animation, phenomenal. The story, I feel like the story is a hard one, because I feel like that's what they wanted to do. They wanted to make you feel those emotions. I've talked about this a lot on other videos, but it's such a weird game. But when I was looking at games and how much I enjoyed them, I just didn't enjoy The Last of Us Part 2. Probably because they wanted me not to enjoy it, because the story was so harrowing during a time which was the same sort of thing. I'm curious. I do want to play a second playthrough and see if my opinion changes. The platinum is so easy that I can't not get it. I can't leave that hanging. Also, I think you can just get it. As long as I've got like a guide out, I'll probably get it on my second playthrough anyway. But I'm wondering if things will change playing it for a second time, and if maybe I would enjoy it more. I just remember not really feeling the game. It felt like I had to push myself to really finish it and complete it, especially at that end. It was a bit of a slog. I don't know, it was tough, but we'll see. I do want to give it a second chance. And then goal number 3 is to platinum Cuphead. I think I can do this. All right, it's going to be tough. I think I've done some of the harder trophies. It's kind of like, you know, when you play something and you get really into it. Because I've not played it for couple of months now, I'm a bit worried that I'll have lost the Cuphead skills and now I have to jump back in at like expert mode or whatever. So I think I could do that. It's definitely like out of all the games I was looking at, that's a platinum that I definitely want to get. So hopefully I could do that. And then I guess the final one here is to try and maybe play more games outside of my comfort zone, so more like indie titles. You know, spread my wings a bit. I enjoy it, so that's like Fall Guys, for instance, and Bugsnax, stuff like that. Like, if I don't try these new games, maybe I won't realise I find something that I actually like, because I just stick to my, like, oh, I don't like the big games. So I'd be interested, and then that would help me as well not have to feel like I need to complete everything, if I could dip my toes into different things, see what I like and what I don't like. And, yeah. That's up for that. And then my final goal, which is not really to do with video games at all, but I want to make sure I do it. This time next year, Lucy, when I'm watching this video back, if you can't do this, then that's bad. I would like to be able to touch my toes. Because it's something I can't do, and everyone always tuts at me. I can hear the tutting already happening, like, you can't touch your toes. So yeah, I'm going to try and set myself a goal every day to get a little bit closer to touching it. So there it is, my gaming wrap up for 2020. I'm going to wrap this video up very quickly because I'm running out of daylight, battery, and probably other things. So let me know in the comments below what you got up to this year. What were your favourite games? What were your proudest platinums? What are you looking forward to next year? I would love to know. And of course, I will document, you know, more video game stuff throughout the coming year. So thank you so much for watching, and I shall catch you all next year in this video. But I'm sure I'll catch you all, you know, about the year. You know, I'm not jacking it in just yet, the old YouTube life. So I shall see you all next time. I hope 2021 finds you healthy and good, and I hope a better year for you all. Thank you so much, and enjoy your New Year's Day if I released on New Year's Day. See ya. Wait, what's the gap? This time next year, hopefully, I will be there.
Very bad.
Okay. Oh, that'll do.